Hi there, everyone, and welcome back to the Hub. Now, I'm here at the Insight booth with Parker. Hi, Parker. How are you doing?
Good. How are you today?
I am good. Now, I've got some questions for you, as you might have suspected, but we heard in the keynote, we talked a lot about the next wave of AI transformation, but how do you see everything we've already discussed, like developing the way that shaping the way that developers work with AI and GitHub?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of change, obviously, today with Judson's announcements with Anthropic coming. That's a big change for continued AI Foundry evolution. You also have Agent 365, which is a great way to continue to drive those agents forward and say, hey, they're now a part of our team. Let's go be successful with them and bring them into our development practices and our team's standards of working. And I think finally working between both Foundry and GitHub is just continuing to move forward with MCP servers, the security and the control plane that's in place to go and be successful.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, right? There is a lot. And are there any specific tools or practices that you think are really important for devs to pay attention to in this sort of new wave of AI?
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, the control plane is going to be a big one. Going in, starting to say, hey, here's where my agents are maybe doing something I'm not expecting them to do. Here's something that I'm looking for them to take better advantage of or to better understand why they're not acting the way that I'm looking for them to behave. And then finally from there, I think the other way is digging in and just continuing to learn. We have big announcements. Microsoft Learn is a great place to go and continue to dive in. Certifications, continuing that path forward for all of 2025, what's left of it, and 2026 is a great way to keep up with the rate of change.
Yeah. Now, of course, you are here at Ignite. We have a big booth here behind us. So, of course, you are a partner of Microsoft, but tell me more about that partnership and how you see that working with your customers.
Yeah, I think the partnership, as I called out earlier, is one of those things where it's just a continual evolution of time together. We have great success working hand in hand with you all, bringing best-in-breed technologies, but I think it goes even farther right now. You are empowering all of us at Insight to get to go and explore the new capabilities, new technologies that are out there, give them to our clients. It's allowing us to learn and say, hey, look, we're client zero on these frontier organizations that we're looking to be successful around. We've been through it. Let us go help that client go through it as well, and that partnership is really the foundation of all of that.
Yeah. So what do you think, what considerations should different organizations have when they're adopting agentic AI? And also, because saying all organizations is quite a broad question. Is there anything like maybe specific industry verticals need to consider?
Yeah, I think we're working on a couple projects. So oil and gas is a great one to go in and say, hey, look, maybe they're a little more AI adverse. They're not ready to take the full plunge. How do we get started on something like Copilot? Copilot chat, great place to go and get started, understand what AI brings to the organization. And then you have maybe telecoms that are saying, look, I want to burn down a backlog with zero to limited effort of my dev team. How do I go forward, use Foundry to go and be successful with that? Trying to understand that each organization is a different spot as they go through their flow and their onboarding into Frontier first is going to be really where to meet them. Is it no code, low code, or pro code to go and drive value from there?
Yeah, so lots of considerations there, right? So I'm going to ask you a question I love to ask people, but how are you personally using AI in your job at Insight? We're not going to talk about what I do with AI at Microsoft, but I'd love to hear what you're doing.
Yeah, so I use Copilot daily. I love it to help me write some emails, maybe answer some messages, find documents that are lost in the treasure trove of my inbox. But I think the biggest way that I actually use it is a piece of application that we developed internally to help my software delivery, help to expedite that, but also to help me understand monolith applications. Everybody has them in their organization.
They do.
But how do we use vectored code? How do we use MCP servers to start to use English as a programming language and find those opportunities for continued improvement and evolution of our code base?
We won't talk about what I use Copilot for in the prompts. Usually writing angry emails, but or making them more polite. But what do you think organizations should be investing in today for this new era, right?
Yeah.
Human agent teams is pretty new. Like, what do you think people should be paying the most attention to?
I think the biggest thing to pay attention to at this point is really how do you incorporate them into your organization? Everyone has these great ideas. How do we get them out in the public forum? How do we talk about capabilities that our organization needs to be having to drive value and drive opportunity? Don't do it in a silo. Try to work together towards success and understand that your IP is probably from a prompt standpoint nowadays. Obviously, prompting is IP as everyone goes to continue to drive value. And then additionally from that one, I think it's also going in and saying, all right, what can we do do as an organization? What risk tolerance are we willing to take as we take that first plunge into a frontier organization?
Yeah, now, I'll also ask you then, because you mentioned it earlier, what is your favorite new model that we added into Foundry? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I think that's an easy answer. I think it's Anthropic.
Oh.
Having that come into the fold this morning, best announcement I think that there was. Saw the press release. Absolutely fantastic opportunity to bring best-in-breed models into a best-in-breed infrastructure within Foundry, Azure in general, and really pulling it all together to give us that opportunity to go from start to finish on best-in-industry opportunities.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you. I think that's probably my favorite model too. Well, Parker, thank you so much for joining us, taking the time. I know you're very busy.
Yep.
And for those of you who are tuning in, you can find out more about Insight by looking at the link on your screen below. And with that, we will be right back.